O-kei.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to O-kei Podcast, the first ever J Fashion News podcast. I'm Hayden.
I'm Kamilah, and yeah, we're claiming it. First J Fashion podcast. Yeah, doing it.
It's
That's what's up. For today's show, we'll be talking about a lot of interesting and new topics, as well as a new special guest to talk about Visual K.
Today we have Sam Burkett with us.
Woo, Sam.
Sam has been in Visual K for almost 9 years now and has since honed her style into a look that works well for her.
Before we get too deep into that, though, we have some updates from subjects we covered in the last episode.
In the last episode, we covered the topic about all of these J Fashion magazines going out of print, but we do have an update on that.
So, new print magazine based in Harajuku titled Fanatic, in all caps, that's very important, hit the streets this month. The four creators, Rinza, Fuki, Haruka, and Mei, are students of Bunka, the most famous fashion school in Japan. Here's an excerpt from the Tokyo Fashion article.
Fanatic magazine was intended from the start to be a print magazine, something that the producers believe is still needed even in the increase of digital media in the world. For now, they plan to publish several issues of Fanatic a year. The frequency will increase if the magazine becomes more well-known. Initial release distribution of Fanatic is through vintage shops, cafes, and brand boutiques in neighborhoods popular with Tokyo's young and fashionable, including Harajuku and Shimokitazawa. Awesome! So, everyone who was freaking out about print magazines, don't worry. They're still here. It's just probably gonna be in less abundance.
Yeah, and there probably will still be kids that are going to do zines, going to just make their own publications, and we're gonna support that, right? So that they can become established.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Empty your pockets.
Yeah. The next news article that we were talking about before was the Shibajuku dolls. I think I mentioned before that they were having a design contest, and I was looking forward to seeing whose design won for their new doll. And the contest has concluded with a bunny theme outfit as the winner. I guess it looks kind of like the bunny overall sort of deal where the straps of the overalls are bunny ears, and it kind of goes into some shorts or something like that. I'm just okay.
What were you hoping for?
I was hoping for a more pastel goth. I saw one of the submitted designs and they looked more I don't know, I was just pastel goth, that would be a nice thing to add since they had more of a pastel set to most of the dolls' clothing. I was kind of just looking more forward to that.
Yeah, I get that. More variety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a quick shout out to one of our followers on SoundCloud. Shannon Dorner says in our comments section of the first episode that she loves the Shibajuku dolls, but she wishes that the dolls were smaller, cheaper, and a higher quality of creation. She says that they look a bit cheap to her, and she would have loved to see them as a kid, and she's happy that the creator has been inspired by Harajuku fashion. And also, she would love to see African-American dolls and to see dolls of other ethnicities. So, shout out to Shannon for being an awesome listener and telling us your opinions. Guys, we are more than welcome to we're interested in knowing what you want to say. So
it was really awesome to get all the feedback, even with I think Fatty Chan was saying, hey, Omacat has actually been an ASIN for a few years. I remember being a wee baby in high school pawing at their demon boy sweater. And I'm just oh wow, they've been there the whole time and I had not noticed them. So that's really awesome feedback.
Speaking of Omocat, I may have mentioned last episode that I ordered their pretty boy sweater. If not, I ordered their pretty boy sweater.
Oh, yeah.
And I got it. And it's the best thing ever. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So I know that demon boy feel, and I know the pretty boy feel. It is so good. All right, and the next thing that we talked about, Kamilah went to the Chicago J Fashion swap meet on behalf of Kawaii International. Can you tell us how that went? I'm super excited to know how it went because I wasn't there.
Oh, man, that was just wow. That was a lot, doing the reporting and also hosting the event. The previous host of the event had a family emergency, and I just want to, say, thank you, Annie Zappa, for putting together the event. The success of the event wouldn't have been without you setting it up in the first place. I know that this emergency happened right the week before, but me just getting the new spot for it was kind of just holding on the strings to everything that you kind of built up for the whole month or two that you were promoting the event. So thank you for doing all of that for us. As far as how the event went, a lot of people showed up. I think about at least 30 people showed up. The event space was beautiful. It had a great natural lighting inside and a lot of space. A lot of people got some new things they were really excited about, and a lot of people just talking. There were beginners there. There were still a lot of people in Lolita, even though it was open to a lot of different J fashions. But I did see someone in I guess I would say Himegairu or something that just reminded me of a gal style. And then there were some people in a goth sort of style. And yeah, so there were just still different people and Decora people. So that was pretty cool. I really couldn't even enjoy the event as far as being a participant in swaps and stuff because I was too busy trying to interview people and do things like that. So that was I'm looking forward to maybe I don't know, doing another event or something where I could be more of a participant instead of the host / interviewer of everyone there.
Yeah,
so,
that's a lot to take on, especially last minute.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to what Kawaii International makes of all the footage that I sent them. And yeah, so I should be hearing back soon. They give their regards out to Annie and her situation. They seem just very grateful for us doing this, even though a lot of tragic things are trying to stop us.
Yeah, totally get that. So next segment, we are going to do our Kawaii Apparel Spotlight. So AC/DC Rag has a new shirt called Red Cross t-shirt. It looks so cool. I am not a punk kind of person. If anything, on my downtime, I do grunge, but this is making me want to do a punk style.
Yeah, I know. I just love the way it has the X going across with all the safety pins.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it's new. I haven't seen anything like this.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like it. And then it just has this really hardcore skull in there with blood writing saying, oh man,
it's a cool graphic.
Yeah, it's a very cool graphic. We should have it in an album for this episode on Facebook if you want to see it. It's beautiful and eye-catching. The next spotlight we have is new Nal Perch releases. Hordes of clothes. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
So many clothes, and it is ridiculous. My favorite item that I picked out for this spotlight was their
clear pacifier necklace.
Yes, it's so cute. I've always been super into the binkies and pacifiers and safety pins. It's a cool combo of punk and baby style. If that makes sense. Safety pins have always been iconic in punk and grunge culture.
But then we have these pink baby safety pins.
Yeah,
they're really safe. They're really safe.
It's a combo of my two favorite things.
That's a great segue. I didn't even think about that.
Metamorphose is releasing a new dress.
Daydreaming Goldfish.
And it's so amazingly interesting and new.
Looking at the Daydreaming Goldfish, what I've seen that is so different is that they have these kind of flower petal pleats in the bottom of the dress, and I really feel like it looks like an upside down rose. I know the motif is about there being goldfishes and things like that, but it just really looks like a flower is opening up for your legs to come through. So it's beautiful in that way.
And it comes in several colors, and they have a bunch of different accessories for it. The main colors, one is red, white, and gold. Another is purple, black, and white, and gold, I believe.
They've got some gold elements.
Yeah, and then red, white, and blue, and gold. And they're releasing socks and capes and
cuffs.
Those are hairpins. It looks like hair combs.
Okay.
And blouses to go with it, so you can get all of your goldfish needs from this one print. You don't see a whole lot of animal prints like this in Lolita.
Right.
It's typically sticking with teddy bears, cats, puppies, but something this is a sea creature that's not. It's not a jellyfish.
And it's very very traditional Japanese artwork.
Yeah, it does look very traditional.
new Dolls Kill bags are super cute and decorable. Dolls Kill is kind of a love and hate sort of situation there. If you can find this item not on Dolls Kill, be free to do that. But we saw it here, the Sugar High crossbody bag and the Slurp crossbody bag.
The Sugar High is like a little cute ice cream cone, super adorable, and the Slurp is this giant icy purse that I saw it, and like it's all rainbows, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Decora. We need to talk about this. It's so cute. My one problem, like Dolls Kill has, if you can fit into Dolls Kill, good for you. Like, more power to you. But as a plus size person, I can't find anything, and that's why I get so frustrated.
Yeah. They also run on that, like, I don't know, there's a scarcity model to it where it's just like, it's on sale, there's only one left, and then I'll buy it, and then it'll be like, oh, they restocked it, like, at some point, and I'm just like, well, you made it seem like there was going to be never, ever again.
Yeah.
And it's not my size, so.
Yeah.
Honey Salon, new tooled lace dress.
If y'all don't know, Honey Salon is a O-kei brand. They have a new dress that came out. It's in 3 super cute different colors. We have a bunch of pictures up here.
You know, and if you want to tell us how to say O-kei, like, is it Larmke? Is it Larme? Is it Larme?
Please
like,
do. I don't want to keep
spread that information to us.
I don't want to keep messing it up.
Just slip it in a piece of paper, pass it, like.
Yeah, it comes
we won't be offended.
It comes in 3 super cute colors. There's a beige, a blush pink, and a black. Super, super elegant and classy. I would wear this to, like, a play. It's so cute.
I think Larmke would be a really nice classic way to to transition into if you're wearing Fairy K most of the time for casual events, and then you have to go to like a wedding or something, and then you're just like, all right, time to switch into Limey K. Like, I think that's a really, you might still have some shoes or something that go with that.
Yeah, you can put that Fairy K element in your Larm. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Next up, Listen Flavor has released a new Crescent Moon Bat flared sailor dress on Tokyo Otaku mode. Comes in 2 colors, black and pink. I love the sailor collar on the back has crosses and a cute scalloped edge, so it looks like bat wings.
Oh, yeah.
And it says the dark side of the moon in gothic black text. It's really, it comes in white too. Didn't even notice that. It has a little bit of a tulle.
It's a lavender. So it's like, but it's really, really light, really pale lavender.
Oh, okay. Has a bit of a tulle underside on the bottom of the skirt.
That's a really nice detail.
Yeah, it's really doable if you do like a pastel goth kind of thing. If you want to do, with that, can you do, like, dark Fairy K? Is that a thing? Or is that just going into pastel goth?
I feel like people are, like, calling it, like, dark Decora, or, like, I hear, like, different names for it. I haven't seen too many people do it. I've seen, like, it happen before. But yeah, if I always have people asking me like, oh, is there like a dark decor? I'm just like, if you don't see it, do it. If enough of you do it and like post pictures of it and talk about it, other people are going to join in because there's an obvious interest to just wear whatever colors you'd like. I don't think there's like a limit in Decora where it has to be rainbow.
There are several people who do Decora cords that are just one color, just all red. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can amass that much red, I don't even know how you
That's
managed.
perfect. It actually looks really good. I did like a mint cord. I don't think it was really Decora. I guess it was just like maybe Fairy K or something. And that's still one of the most liked pictures on my Tumblr page. I just picked one color and went with it. So I love doing that.
So that clears it up for the new Kawaii Apparel Spotlight. Next up, we're going to move on to our local topics and events.
So we're going to start with the first official US QPOT event happening May 7th in San Francisco. The event is like $40 a ticket. They extended the time for you to get tickets, so you could probably still get tickets for this event maybe.
It's going to be a meet and greet with QPOT designer Tadaki Wakamatsu. There's going to be a dress-up premiere and pre-order options for QPOT. There's going to be item coordinate sessions, special store display. There's going to be food if y'all like need some food. Because
I mean, with everything going on, they're going to need sustenance to continue.
Oh, dear gosh, yes.
And then you're going to be creating a ribbon rosette during a workshop during the event. So
That's so cute.
Yeah, so this event seems like a whole day of activities.
Yeah, and it's very hands-on. Next up, there is going to be a J Fashion Mega Meet on July 22nd in Maryland. This is the first mega meet for the East Coast J Fashion community, and it will have vendors, snacks, a swap meet area, and so much more. Tickets are already on sale, and they will be $12 until June 17th. Then they're probably going to go up a little bit. Look out for that.
Yeah, I really wish I could go. I was looking up train tickets and everything like that. I'm just like, wait, I'm like doing too many conventions. I can't stress myself out to like go to this event. But man, I really want to go. Hopefully they do this again. Oh, and the next event is Chateau de Kauai. I don't know if I've said that really good.
No, I think you're good.
All right, awesome. It's going to be May 14th in Maryland as well. Chateau de Kauai will become DC's first charity Kauai fashion show. This event will bring alternative fashion designers and artists of all mediums together to enhance DC's Kauai culture for a good cause. In support of the fight to end human trafficking, proceeds will be donated to Courtney's House, an organization that helps underage victims of sex trafficking escape and build new lives. That is serious.
Yeah, and this is like super important to me personally. I was a part of a human trafficking rights organization in my hometown in California. So seeing a J Fashion community that's really working towards that, it's extremely touching, and it makes me feel that this community isn't just about the fashion. It's about people as well. That's super important.
Right. We are people. There's people under here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we have a new Kauai community forming stateside. I wanted to talk about the Kauai Society. It's an organization that aims to share Japanese pop cultures worldwide. We are passionate visual artists, fashionistas, gamers, otaku entrepreneurs, bloggers, musicians, and so much more. Join them in discussion, collaboration events, and celebration of all things Kauai. They have already had 2 big events this year in New York City featuring a maid cafe, local music idols, and J-fashion vendors. Bianca, the creator, is also the founder of her own fashion and accessories brand, Miss Candy Holic, also inspired by Kauai culture.
I've heard of her. I know I've seen her stuff around.
Yeah. I've definitely seen her stuff on different Fairy K communities online. I was invited to the group and I was just like, oh, this is a great idea. And just I've been watching them grow and I'm really looking forward to what they do in the future. With the support of her impeccable team, she hopes to make the Kauai Society a global movement. You can visit their website to learn more about being involved.
And we're going to put that down in the description below. So we really wanted to talk about this episode, why J Fashion is important, from community outreach like what
Chateau de Kauai.
Like Chateau de Kauai is doing, and from personal influences.
This is from personal experiences and things I've seen lately. Personally, like I put up a picture of my outfit that I wore to go to the J Fashion swap meet in Chicago, and I put it up on Instagram, and someone commented saying that, oh, like you can't wear Decora, you look like a black ogre trying to pose as a wannabe Japanese Decora doll. And there was all sorts of stuff wrong with this person's comment, and I wasn't really like offended by it, but mostly like shocked. Like I'm just like, oh wow, why would you, like, where are you coming from, you know? And the person blocked me, so I couldn't even like see their account for a while. I had to try and get someone else to try and like, hey, what's going on? Apparently this person wasn't involved in the J Fashion community, but like always, it's kind of like if the image that's promoted is not like what you look like, then people are gonna have this idea in their head that, oh, only Japanese girls can wear this. You know, only people with pale skin can wear this and participate in this fashion. And so I thought that was really like, it was just, wow, just graphic hate towards someone who's just like wearing clothes where there isn't that rule about it. Where's this stated? It's not really there. Mm-hmm. And then I also ran across a post on Rage On. They're like a clothing company. They sell like some Lisa Frank all over prints, which is pretty cool. So I started following their page, and they reblogged a picture of Tabby, which is a very well-known
Western Decora J fashion personality.
Yeah. He's very popular on Instagram. I follow their page and everything. I saw him and I got really excited. I was like, oh, wow, like Rajon, like just like reblogged one of their pictures and he's really cool and I know this person. And so I went and looked at the comments because for some reason I thought that
it's going to be positive.
It's going to be positive. And like, and Rajon clientele are maybe open to a lot of different styles of like clothing and everything. I'm going to mention that Tabby is wearing one of the Lisa Frank overprints as his shirt. So that's why they reblogged it. But they didn't say that they were reblogging from Tabby's site or like even credit him. So that already like wrong step there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I decided to go and look at the comments because I wanted to go and maybe like someone's positive comment or leave a comment of my own, like praising Tabby. I just saw a whole lot of comments just judging Tabby,
You look like a big kid and like who got out of a craft school. It's just like,
yeah.
Are you serious?
Or saying like, oh, this person looks like they're a feminist. Or they were
so disgusting.
Yeah, but they were just someone referred to Tabby as she, and then the next comment was like, oh, it looks like they might not even, like, they look like they're one of those theys, you know, like they don't identify as anything
just
or something.
In a very insulting way.
Yeah. It wasn't in, like, an informing way. It was just in, a very,
scathing.
Like, oh, look at these sensitive little snowflakes. And it just got so political. And it's just someone who is wearing clothes with colored hair. Why does this have to become like, you're a feminist, you must be this, and you believe that, and just like so much hate by just like wearing colorful clothing? What did that have anything to do with what Tabby's wearing? But then it occurred to me that even though we're not wearing something that's like punk, where it's about being a rebel and politically charged and, you know, being a rebel against the establishment and government and stuff, just being yourself these days is already an affront to the status quo. Like it's just a strong protest against gender, against what your race is supposed to look like or dress like,
against cultural standards that have been set for people. It's something that has like really developed over the past decade or so, where I feel that with like punk or grunge subculture, it's very like, oh, these people are scary, watch out for them, so no one really messes with them. But when it's someone who does like something that's pretty or frilly, the people think that we're just going to sit and take it.
Right.
And it's like, just because someone looks like a submissive personality doesn't mean that you have the right to take advantage of them, because who knows, they might clock you in the face.
Right. Exactly. You don't know who this person is. Yeah, I just feel like it's just so important that we wear these fashions. Like, you have to be strong to wear J fashion, and you have to be strong in order to be yourself.
Just today, I went to my school's cafeteria, and I was greeted by the man who always takes my card and swipes my meal card. And I'm dressed in J fashion. He says, one of the only people here who I always look forward to seeing, because you always dress as you want people to see you, and you always dress to make you happy, and I'm always so excited to see how you are that day. So just dressing like this can inspire people, not even to dress the way that we dress, but to dress the way that they want to dress and be who they want to be. Being yourself takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, and it does a lot for other people as well. Do it for yourself. Do it for other people in the community. Do it for other people outside of the community. And if problems happen, if people who are ignorant or who are just jerks do the same as they did to Tabby to you, lean on people in the community. Right. Definitely reach out and talk to them, because there are several people in J-fashion communities who have experienced that. It's nothing new.
Right.
So being able to talk to people and understand that you're not alone in this and being able to have that support is so important.
Right. And just to think about that, like, you know, if you're thinking about getting out of the community because you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm being misjudged by people outside of it or even within it, like, just know, like, you're representing all the people who can't dress like you for one reason or another, and you having the personality you have with the clothing that you wear, like, yeah, you're just representing something bigger than yourself. So that's my little spiel.
All right, we're going to throw it over to Sam. So, Sam, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Very
Good.
Oh, you look so great today. I
Thank
love your
you.
makeup.
Yes,
I
totally.
appreciate it.
Amazing. I love your earrings.
Thank
Those
you.
are so cool. So, first question, how has your participation in the Visual Kei community changed over time?
When I first got into, VK in the first place, there really wasn't that much of a community to be had.
Oh, okay.
It was like super low key, everybody, there wasn't like a scene to be part of. So people kind of kept to themselves. You occasionally talk to a person here and there and they're like,
Is there still like MySpace going when you're?
Yes, that was there.
Okay, all right.
That was a thing. There was MySpace, Tagged, AIM, all that stuff.
Okay,
Like,
so
right.
if you were going to like try to reach out to some other people, that's where you could do it.
Exactly. And it wasn't like we could be like, make a Facebook group or anything about it. It was kind of like, oh my God, you like VK? Awesome. Let's listen to music together. And then we would like, exchange pictures and things like that. But as time kind of went by, Facebook came, the groups came, people started coming together from all over the world and started building communities together. So at that point, I felt like I needed to kind of put my stake in it. So that's when I started making a blog. That's when I started kind of like taking pictures of my looks and trying to get some sort of visual of myself out there because I felt like, I'm a hermit crab. So because I'm a hermit crab, occasionally my friends have to be like, get out there, girl, you can do this, you got this. And I'm just like, all right, cool, and then, once I get that little boost of confidence, then boom, I just decided to do it. And I decided to go out there and investigate.
Yes, I find that with a lot of like J fashion community, it has to be something that like you actively search out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
Especially with like smaller fashions like VK or Oshadeke, Larm, is it pronounced?
Larmy?
Larme-ke?
Yeah, I think it's Larmy. I say Larmy.
Yeah.
That's the Kamilah way.
Exactly. You make it work.
Or Cult Party K.
Oh,
That's like
yeah.
another thing too.
Yeah.
Like, how about now? How do you express yourself now? Do you do the same things? Are you a part of any Facebook communities? Yeah, how do you view it now?
So, like, I don't want to sound like an ultimate hipster or anything like that or anything, But, like, I tend to, like, keep to myself, like, normally. Because when I do try to join groups and things like that, it's not really that easy because especially, like, being a POC, like...
Yeah.
They don't really view me as somebody that can be seen as that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, say whatever to it and just, go about my way. Because I did do, like, a contest here and there a couple of times. They were like, oh, let's do VK visual whatever contest, and let's see who gets the most likes and the most views and the most this, that, and third.
That's the part
And
where
you're like,
being a person of
ugh.
color can be like,
Yep.
because sometimes you can be overlooked or ignored
Yep.
unless you're just like doing something that's like totally
Different or out there.
Yeah.
And it's already like a very, I'm not even going to say a small box to fit in, but it's a very specific box to fit into. And if you don't fit that box, you're not necessarily going to be successful in what other people view you as being successful in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to
Right,
see you
right.
as completely achieving the look just because you have some braids in your head.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's kind of like, you do what you do the best you can. But
Yeah.
what I typically do is, in order to kind of like keep in touch with people, I just stay more on the music aspect of it
Okay.
rather than the actual look of it.
Right,
and so I don't
right.
really put like my face too much on the front of it. I'll just mostly put the music out there. These are my opinions. This is what I, view these artists as. And this is what I think of this artist and things like that. Unless it's like my blog where like it's personal, then of course I'll, put my own image and stuff like that. But
Yeah, because
if we're
that's,
talking
that's
music-
you.
Right.
Right.
But if we're talking music, then it's like, you don't need to know what I look like.
Right,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's all about the music.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where like it all started.
Right. Do you have to be into J-Rock to dress in Visual K, or are the two separate?
Personally, I believe you can't really have one without the other. You know, when I first got into VK, J-Rock, anything that related to rock and roll and Japanese anything in the same faction, those two things kind of played together. I liked the music, and then I also liked the visual, and it made me want to be a part of it in some shape or form. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same thing like metalheads. You know, metalheads, they love their guitarists, they love their bass guitarists, their lead singers, their drummers. They want to look like those people, so they grow their hair out.
Yeah,
they headbang to the music, so they feel like they're a part of the movement.
Yeah, it's a part of the admiration of the bands, you know.
Exactly. And I feel like, personally, you cannot have one without the other, because then you're kind of missing a huge chunk. You know what I mean? If you're not getting that feeling that comes with it, kind of like emo kids. Everybody kind of made fun of emo kids, but emo kids had a look because that's what they felt.
Right.
You know,
that's true.
They had the swoop over, you know, bang, because I was emo kid, so I can say this. They had the swoop over bang and the colorful hair and things like that, because it was what their artist was portraying, and they were feeling the lyrics, they were feeling that music, they were feeling that passion, so they needed to portray that.
That's interesting, like seeing the fashion as an expression of a feeling, you know, rather than just the look of it. It's like the feeling of it. That's very interesting.
Totally.
That's why it's called a subculture. Like if you don't have the music, there's a huge part of the culture that you're missing.
Exactly.
Now you just got the sub.
Right. Subbing it then at that point. It's
like you're just like you're
something.
Different, but you don't have the culture aspect in what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that shows in how long you'll be able to stick in the fashion and everything if you're a part of the other parts of the culture.
Yes.
If you're not really passionate about everything else, it might just be a phase for you.
Yeah, and that leads us into the next question. What are your favorite Visual Kei bands?
Man, there's so many. I wish I could see my face right now. Like, there's the viewers. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
So, like, I love the classics. You know what I mean? Like, I've always loved the classics. Same things with, like, my American rock and metal bands that I like. So I like the Malice Miser. I like the Gazettes. I love Duran Gray has been my first and will always forever be. And Kyo will forever be. Top of my list. And Cafe, Adam Shi. A couple of newer ones, or one of the newer ones that I listen to would be Nocturnal Bloodlust. Oh, Lynch, Bucktick. But yeah, those are a couple of them that, you know, I listen to consistently.
On that subject, can you kind of describe what VK music sounds like? If it's a combination of things or like what it consists
like
of?
how is it different from like American metal that's like out now and stuff? Like how would you compare that, I guess?
What I would say is, so kind of starting from the beginning of like VK was the crazy stepchild of Japan's version of hair bands, like glam rock bands. Because you know how big it was in America, and then Japan kind of got a little bit later. You know, they always get a little bit later than us, you know. And then from that point on, VK kind of emerged from that a little bit, because it was about the aesthetic, it was about the performance, it was always about the visuals, always, you know.
So they took it all to the next level.
Oh, they took it to the whole next level. But they did it in their own way, where it wasn't just about, like, rock, Japan rock, or Japanese versions of rock. It was like, let me create a new tone. So they incorporated a lot of like Japanese pop, which with their vibratos, especially in their vocals. That was a big thing. If you listen to Teen Revolution, he's big on his vibratos. He's always, you know, like wiggling his voice. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Same thing with Kyo. Kyo likes to wiggle his voice a little bit, but then he likes to draw it out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they're what I've always taken their tones to be is, well, in the beginning it was borderline punk. Then it kind of slowly went into metal, almost like a little bit of touch of metal with their more melodic tones and more. But then they're incorporating the visuals. So that they kind of just morphed it into one baby of theirs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, morphed it.
That's awesome.
So,
why did you connect with Visual Kei out of all the other fashion styles?
well, I was already kind of into like rock in general, like from the get-go, like, so I was already into like dark scenes, and dark stuff and dark themes and stuff like that. Like, I've never been, I mean, I like cute things, like I love cute things secretly, but you'll never see me wearing like all pink or anything like that, you know what I mean? Because it's just not what I feel on my, you know,
on your inside.
Exactly. So being already into rock music, and most of that is actually from my dad. We used to sit there and listen to Iron Maiden and Linkin when we were heading to the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
So that's just like a part of your life.
Exactly.
Grew up with it.
Exactly. And then also being into like anime and reading manga and things like that. And then eventually I just found out that VK existed. That's what kind of drew me into it, actually.
So the knowledge that I have about VK is that it has a very androgynous look to it. How has that androgyny influenced your everyday style?
It has influenced it quite a bit. Again, I take it back to my dad. Even when I was going to church, when I was a Christian, things like that, I used to dress up in suits because I wanted to look like my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've always been somebody that was like into having that androgynous look or that in between. So I've always been a big fan of that. So to have it, you know, again, that's another aspect of VK that just kind of just drew me to it.
Yeah, that attracted
you know,
to it, yeah.
You can't tell if this man is a woman. You can't tell if this woman is a man. Like, it's like everybody's just beautiful.
Right,
They just show up and
yeah.
they're just banging.
It's like unisex beauty.
Yeah, that's something that always, like, attracted me. And, it was so frustrating, especially being a trans person. There was an episode of Bones, and
they gave her a hug to try to figure out if she was a woman.
Bullshit.
Yes, that was so messed up. That was so messed up.
If any of you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's an episode of Bones, and Bones is a
detective kind of
detective police / anthropological show. And there was an episode where they bring in 3 Japanese team members, and one of them happens to dress in VK style.
Oh, wow.
And they were very genderless, like going into a combo of genderless K. They kind of dressed in a combo of genderless K, VK style. And their entire character arc was, is this a boy or a girl?
Exactly.
Is this a boy or a girl? And it was so frustrating. And, like, people try to justify it being like, well, at least, like, they're shedding some light to it. It's like, no.
They made the whole thing about it.
Yeah, like, this person is more than their gender. They're more than their sex. And, like, at the end, it ended with one of the
cast members.
Yeah, one of the cast members, like, going up to them and hugging them to see if they would get a hard-on.
Or if they had a chest.
Yeah, or
like
if they had a chest.
Or something, right.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah, and it was just so disgusting. And, like, as a trans person, I was like, this makes me feel, like, all about my genitals.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so gross. It was absolutely disgusting. And plus, they got terminology wrong. The psychologist of the team was like, they're into K, which means genderless fashion. I'm like,
no, that's not what that means.
No. K just means fashion. It can literally be any type of fashion.
Yeah.
It's literally just saying fashion, and now you're, like, contributing genderless K into it when this person is dressing in visual K.
Exactly.
I hate when that happens.
When Westerners, like, try to incorporate
and show House. It's not, like, fashion related, but they had some guy that was on there that was asexual, and, like, the House guy was just like, that's impossible.
Dogging him out the whole time.
Yeah, dogging him out the whole time. And then the whole diagnosis was about, like, oh, well, maybe he's not asexual, and then he ended up proving them wrong, that they made him sexual again. And I'm just all like,
that's so disgusting.
That's
Our Western culture is so into, like, disproving other people.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And it's like, why can't we just let people be happy?
Yeah.
You know, that's just how it pretty much goes. And at that point, you just can't do anything but just close your eyes, clench, and hope that it passes like a bad bowel movement.
Right. Are there any visual K basics that most people have, like petticoats are to Lolitas?
Brows are a big thing. Brows.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Huge. If you don't bleach them, you gotta cut them. If you don't cut them, you gotta do something to them. Like, brows, you gotta, like, trim them. You know what? Most of it is about the face. And because there's so many subgenres to the subgenre of visual K. You know, what was that? Kurofuku K. You've got Oshade K. You've got Nagoya K. You've got so many different subgenres to visual K. The clothes, honestly, can be like a hit or miss. It's all up to the eye of the beholder. But brows and hair are the big things.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to color your hair a certain way, but I like to call it the mullet. You got not call it the mullet, but it's got to be like a mullet.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta spike a mullet, you know? That's what I had
that's
for
true.
like a majority of the time. Like I had like a blonde at the top, it was black at the bottom, it was super long, and it was like short, and I would spike it, and I would like do all kinds of stuff to it. And so hair and brows to me are like the biggest things, because if you don't do them just right, you might end up looking like you might just cross over from like VK to like Yaru real quick. Real quick. Like real quick.
Yeah, because Gary does have like the big hair and stuff.
Yes.
But it's like the cut of the mullet hair that
Exactly.
really like separates you.
Right. Like you could do a Sujimori, but not too much Sujimori, because then it just borderlines like you just turn into like an EK man at that point. And it's just like it's so many things that are going on, you know. It's like, what do you do to your head? Like, yeah, but hair and brows are like my biggest thing about it. Like eye makeup, you can pretty much do whatever. You can just draw a squiggle on your face and it'll be fine. Because then you fill it in with some color and I'll be like, oh my god, it's so innovative. And then like hair color, you can do whatever hair color you want to do. Clothes, as long as it has like a certain like rock edge to it, or just the edge to it in general, then you can pretty much pass. I mean, I'm just wearing what, a V-neck shirt, some jeans, and a thing that I wear
Casual visual kei.
Exactly, you know, and a head wrap, you know. It's just a matter of having references to kind of like base your look off of, but then making it your own.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can
and I'm
see
sure
that.
that's everybody. That's always, and everybody has that, you know, aspect of it.
That's cool.
I've always thought eyebrows are super interesting to me. I love like talking about eyebrows. I love doing other people's eyebrows. I love doing my eyebrows. They are so important. And I think it's so interesting, like going back to how like eyebrow fashion has evolved. I believe it was, now don't quote me on this, not entirely sure.
I'm gonna quote you right now.
Write this down. Hold on.
By Hayden. He said it, not me.
There was, I believe, an Eastern European Renaissance era time where like having a unibrow was very fashionable, and especially in Japan, the look of eyebrows changed over time in so many different ways. And seeing how it's now like coming back, people are like, oh. Like, I saw this parchment that had a Japanese woman with, like, really, really small eyebrows, but they're really cute. I want to do that now. People are pulling from the past, and I think it's so interesting how eyebrows are making a renaissance. And we're going away from, like, my sister likes to call it the mom sperm eyebrows.
Yes, I was
where
about
it's
to say
just,
that.
like,
The sperm eyebrow.
Yeah, it's so gross. I used
about
to
to say
have
that.
those, and I didn't know what eyebrows, like, were doing.
Yeah.
But, you know, and we're gone from that now. We're never going to go back.
Now we have feather eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
Or
those
the
are
caterpillars.
Cool.
Sometimes people do the caterpillars.
Yeah, like, and it's all like varying in the shape of your face. Like you have like the super cut, or you have people doing straighter stuff, or you have like shave them off altogether and doing
I did
entirely
that
new
for a
things.
very long time. Like I shaved them completely off. Like I went to work like that because I just didn't care. And I wish they would have said something like, "I dare you to say something to me." Like, I come up here ready to work. Don't worry about my eyebrows, you know. But if you go through my Instagram, you'll see. You will see.
So I know that you have this little like side workshop deal that you do. Could you describe that?
Yes, I do. I actually occasionally I do cosplay workshops for like kids, pretty much from about 13 and up. I'll go to their house, I'll bring supplies, or if they want to, you know, get their own supplies or whatever works for them.
I'm gonna have to ask my fiance about that.
Yeah. You pretty much I'll have like the kid draw it out, and then I'll redraw it myself too. We'll break it down into simple shapes, and then I'll make the basic base parts of it so that they can work on the flair of it themselves, like the eccentric parts or the accent part of it.
Right.
They can work on that themselves. I usually takes about maybe like a 2 to 3 sessions. I'll do like a session a week all the way up till it's done. I'll bring my own tools and everything like that. So, you know, if they don't have the tools, I cover it for them. We'll go through everything from drawing it out, planning it, putting the pieces together, cutting the pieces out, painting the pieces, coding the pieces, all the way up until where we can teach you how to fasten it to yourself. But yeah.
That sounds really in depth.
Yeah.
So I see you have a few piercings.
Yes, I do.
You know, they're noticeable.
quite noticeable.
And I just want to know, like, how have you been received by the parents' workout?
Well, typically the parents already know me or know of me, because usually, most of the people that I've had so far have been people within the company that I work for.
Oh, okay.
And so they already know me. They already know who I am, what I do, how I do things, whatever. So they see me. They're just like, oh, it's whatever. That's just Sam. But maybe like the dad or whatever, he never seen me before. He'll be like,
who is this crazy person?
Right. He's actually, they look at me, and then when I open my mouth, it's different. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and I think it's the same experience that I have with customers. So customers will look at me, and they'll be fascinated by what's going on in my mouth. That when I open my mouth and I start speaking, they're like, oh my God, she sounds so nice. She's so well spoken. Wow. Surprising. I think once I start talking and I, like how we're talking now, like when I start talking, I get comfortable, they get comfortable, everything's all good. They pay me my money, we're good.
Yeah.
And that, I think that, like, comes with being in any type of subculture. Where it's
totally.
like, you look different, people are going to think you're really different.
Oh, totally. 100%,
Yeah, like you're
100%.
just like some alien from like another planet or something.
Yeah.
And they got to dissect you.
And they got to stare
mentally.
at you and just wonder, why do you do that to yourself?
I think people tend to think like, oh, I walk in and then they're just like, oh, okay, so she's like 12. So is she going to just start talking like goo goo gaga?
Right.
And then they realize, oh, she talks like she's like 25.
Right.
How old are you? What is
Right.
going on?
Right, exactly.
So, last question that we have for you is, what advice would you give to those people who want to get into visual kei? Whether it's with the music that they listen to or like where to start looking for clothing items.
First thing I would say is, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Let's start with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that I had to deal with, trying to get over the nervousness of being different from a scene that's already really different. Don't be afraid. Research. If you're really trying to refine your look and like get it down packed, get all the pictures you can possibly find, get all the magazines you can scrounge up from Mitsuwa, whatever 2 or 3 they got left in the back. You know what I mean?
with how these printed publications are dropping like flies.
Exactly. You better get it while you can for they $50 on eBay. You know? Do your research, of course. Save your pictures. Do whatever you got to do. Practice. Don't get down on yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else either. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're special. You're individual. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay? You don't have to sit there and compare yourself to anybody. Take inspiration, but don't try to set yourself to be that person that you're looking at. Make it so that you love it. And that you love doing it, and it doesn't become a chore. It becomes something that you honestly want to do. You want to wake up in the morning, you want to put it on. You want to go to sleep at night, you want to wear a night version of it. You know what I mean? You want to go out, you want to find a go out version of it. You know what I mean? So
I think, what you just said, like, resonated with me so much. I had an extremely difficult night last night and hard morning, and today getting out to come record was a little hard. I was like, oh, I gotta get dressed, I have to like put on this whole outfit, but I thought, oh, it's okay, we'll just start with this shirt and we'll see how it goes. And like 5 minutes later I already had an outfit picked out. I'm like, wait, it was that easy?
Right.
I can't believe like I just already did that, and I was having such a hard day, like just getting out of bed. But this fashion helped me like put on that layer that I needed to have confidence to go outside. And I think
put
that's
your arm on.
Yeah,
Put your arm on.
it's so important that like people who do subculture fashion really, really love it.
Oh yeah,
and they find themselves in it.
Yeah,
that just resonated with me so much. Sorry, I'm getting
it's
emotional.
Okay. It's all right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Just find the version that works for you. I know a lot of people come up to me and they're just like, oh, I love to do Decora, but I want to do like a dark version of it. I'm just like, do it. Like, just because it doesn't exist, just make up your own version of it that works for you.
Exactly.
And then when you wear it, you're going to feel like your complete self. And it's going to help you like build that confidence to go out because you feel like I'm being myself right now. Like this is like fully me.
Names can come later. You can dissect it and figure out what it is exactly later. Just
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. Like,
Yeah.
figure out what makes it so special to you.
Right.
Mhm,
Like, you go out there, I know I look good.
Yeah.
And I wish somebody else would tell me otherwise.
Right.
I wish
Yeah.
I wish a wishing well somebody would tell me otherwise. You know what I mean?
I got ready for an argument.
Exactly. Let me fight somebody today.
Yeah, I'll go shopping for like fairy case stuff, and people would be like, "That's something a kid would wear," or no, Lolita stuff. If I like look at a Lolita outfit, I'm like, "Oh my god, I want that so badly." People are
Right.
like, "You look like a child." I'm like, "Could a child really wear 5 different layers just on their
Right.
body,
Yeah.
not including tights, shoes, headdresses,
Yeah.
wigs, makeup?
Yeah.
This is not something a child would wear."
Yeah,
okay?
a child can't even
Exactly.
afford this. What are you talking about?
You walking around like $800 right there. Like, what you mean?
Angelica, they just released a new dress that's like $2,000.
Look,
and
you
I'm
missed
like,
me with that one. See,
what?
that's why I chose the right genre, because I ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time, no money for any of that. I'm sorry.
Like, you
No,
can
I
still try to
agree.
hop out over the hot topic for
Right.
something.
That's
real.
why I do Fairy K. It's easy. It's cheap.
Right.
This shirt I got was like $8 at Antique Mall, and there's like one stain that I have covered up with a pin right here.
Oh, nice.
There
So
you go.
like no one can
Strategic.
see it.
Strategic.
So, where can people follow you and like your blog about music and stuff like that?
Oh, so I do have a blog on Blogspot. It's called Visual Rose. It's
Visual
in
Rose.
Japanese, so it's Visual Rose.
Nice.
Nice it is. Perfect. But I do have a blog. I'm actually starting up a cosplay blog as well very soon. It's gonna incorporate a lot of my tutorials. I'm going to try to break down the steps of what I do to make whatever I make, thing with the sewing. I'm also going to make a cosplay page on Facebook.
Ooh.
Now, when I'm doing it is another situation. Because I am queen procrastinator. So, I'll get to it eventually. But no, I'll probably get to it probably tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
We'll have all of those
Motivation.
listed in the description below, so you
Perfect.
guys can go check that out and visit Sam's pages and check her out, follow her.
Yeah.
Please support I'm going to say this every episode from here on out. Support your local community.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
support the people that we have on this podcast. It means so much to us. It means so much to them. So hit her up, talk to her. Sam, thank you so much for coming out. It means so much to us that we have you here. It's so
Totally.
cool to have someone from the VK community come talk to us about
Yeah, I
it.
don't think I've ever met someone from the VK community in person.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually like surprised, but then I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's like something like people have like meetups to do.
No.
Like you have
Right.
Lolita meetup,
Exactly.
Fairy K
Right.
meetup, Decora meetup.
You see him at a concert. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the concerts.
Like the Miyavi concert
That's-
is coming up.
Yeah.
You know, during grade concert they have like once a year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where you meet in person. But that's like the nature of your culture, so that's
Exactly.
awesome. That's
Which
awesome.
I am okay with. Okay? I don't have no time to go on no meetups.
Yeah,
no
where
parties.
people are gonna
Not
be
for
people
that.
gonna judge. You're
Right.
like, oh, we're having the eyebrows.
It's too hot, all right? I don't care about the judging part. It's the too hot part.
It's
It's the summer, and I ain't got time.
Oh, man. You're so
Awesome.
great. You're a pleasure to have on the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
So that wraps up this episode. So we have a bit of a final announcement. OK Podcast is very, very new. We understand that. However, I am originally from California, and I am going back home to California for summer break. OK Podcast is not going away. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But we are not going to have monthly episodes.
Yeah, we're going to have like mini episodes that will either be audio or visual in nature. We're going to be going to a few different events, you know, like locally to where we live. I still live so I'll still be able to go to like Harajuku Fashion Walks, Anime Central, Anime Midwest. I'm also going to Anime Expo. So,
Yeah.
Really?
yep.
Yes! I'm going to see you there.
Oh, nice!
Yes!
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I'm going there. There's gonna be plenty for us to draw from.
There's going to be lots of content still, don't worry. Full-length episodes will resume once I come back for school, and that'll probably be in September when we start recording again, so expect new episodes towards the mid-end of
and
the
we
year.
have plenty of guests that we've already written down for
Yes,
those
oh my god,
months.
we are so excited for this year.
Yeah.
Being in LA, I'm going to have access to Little Tokyo. I'm probably going to hit up Anime Expo for a day or so. I'm going to be all over, going to talk to people at Fickle Wish, going to talk to people at Japan LA. And I am also going to Japan this summer, so I am hoping to talk and interview shop workers at J Fashion shops there,
Yeah.
like 6%. We're going to have plenty of content for you guys. So don't worry, we're still here. We're still going to keep y'all updated.
Yeah, and follow us on SoundCloud. Follow us on our Facebook page, O-kei Podcast. We post articles like fashion news articles, things like that. If you want to follow me in particular, you can follow my Heart Decora Facebook page. And then
if you guys want to keep in contact with me, my J Fashion blog is fairykdad.tumblr.com.
Oh, yeah, your Tumblr follows.
Yeah. No hyphens, no nothing, just Fairy K Dad. And then if you want to follow my personal blog, it's princedorkface.tumblr.com.
That's all we got for you today. So.
Join us next time.
O-kei Podcast.
O-kei Podcast.
Hey.